Got all the boys out for the picture. We're about to do one final start of the ZL1 as we say goodbye to this absolute beauty. That's it, boys. Well, boys, it is official. We just signed all the finance, all the paperwork officially in my name. The car is now officially mine. We're about to take a look at it for the first time. I don't know if you can hear right now, but that is actually my car now. Officially, that's what's in the background. So let's take a look at it.
ZL1, pedaling throttle. Hit the gas through the dash when the cops come. Supercharged with a rap that they flock to. No more words, you can race if you want to. Take off at the red light, leave the dust on them. Tail lights, pass the demon in the night on them. Real loud, no sneaking like a lion on them. Big roar when I let the gear slide on them.
What a crazy freaking few hours that was. As y'all saw at the beginning clip, I was revealing my new car, and at the time that was actually my new car. I had already signed all the financing paperwork, signed the trade-off for this. I did trade this car in, and got the Corvette Z06, 2016 Corvette Z06 with 20,000 miles. It was official. That was going to be the new car for the channel, and just stuff really went downhill. Like after we left the dealership, which I won't disclose the name of the dealership just for like legal reasons, and I don't feel like I need to out them because they actually worked with me a lot to make everything right and basically get me back in this without any like words or anything like that. It took a little bit of time, but after they got everything together, they were able to just work it out with me, and I got this car back, and basically just kind of erased everything that happened with the Z06. So essentially, I wasn't really planning on getting rid of this car like anytime soon, to be honest with you. Like, I really love this car. It's my dream car, like I said. And a lot of people that know me know that I'm personally not the biggest fan of Z06 Corvettes. Not necessarily like, or Corvettes in general, I should say, because like I've always preferred the Camaro platform over the Corvettes. Corvettes are faster, that is for sure. That Z06 is a lot quicker than this. Stock, that is, regardless, it's going to be quicker than the ZL1, but I was never intrigued with getting a Z06, at least as like my only vehicle. One day I do want to get like a Z06, like in addition to whatever I have in the future, but for right now I wouldn't really find myself picturing myself just as a Corvette owner. But the reason that this one intrigued me, and the reason that I actually went ahead and traded this car in, was that this car was not stock at all. Like at all. Visible mods that we can see because it didn't have a build sheet. RIP, one of the biggest reasons why I didn't want to get it. It had headers, had a smaller pulley, had a green belt, had an intake, had the meth system that we saw, had an ice tank. Pretty sure it was catless because that thing was insanely loud. It had MSD spark wires. It probably had the MSD spark plugs. I would assume a bigger throttle body, because making that much power, I don't see how they would do that on a stock throttle body. I think that's it. It was on lowering springs. It was like almost on the freaking ground. It was like 2 inches off the ground. Like, I don't even know if it would make it up my driveway. Like, that thing was crazy. But yeah, I think that was all the mods that were done to it. I'm more than positive. So a bunch of stuff anyways. There's probably more stuff that's undercover that we don't know, and that was one of my biggest like fears of how am I going to get this car. And like, if somebody asked me like, hey, what's under your car, and you're like, I don't know, bro. Like, I think it's just this, but it could be more. Like, I hate those people that like buy a car like that and don't know. But I didn't want to be like that, you know. Like, it was far from stock. It was making quite a bit of power, and just the price of it was right. Let me just say that. And they gave me a pretty good amount for this car for trade-in, and essentially the payments weren't that crazy different compared to the ZL1. And I don't know, I for some reason I thought it was a good idea, and I thought that having that car with all the mods that were done to it, it felt amazing whenever I drove it. Sounded great, and it looks amazing. It was a white Corvette Z06. So yeah, that was, for a few hours at least, that was a new car for the channel. I didn't end up recording much at all. The only stuff that I recorded was that first clip that I put in the video, I think is going to be the very first thing that y'all see in this video, is us lining up all the cars together, and I'm about to get like a picture with the salesman or whatever. That's the only thing I really recorded until like, so we left the dealership. This is where everything starts to happen. So get everybody's head wrapped around it, why I no longer own the Corvette. So we left the dealership, and so the issue that was already going on is they kept having air come out of the driver's side rear tire. They just had air just keep coming out, so they'd have to like inflate it. We would drive it around a bit, and then it would have to be like reinflated again. So we were headed to Jim Whaley's, which was literally, I mean, like from that dealership, less than 2 miles. So like it was like not even like a 6 minute drive with traffic, and it wasn't that busy Saturday. But by the time we were like a little bit past halfway to get to Jim Whaley's, I get the message on the screen, which if you have a Chevrolet and you've ever had this issue with overheating, you would see the message that came up on the screen was engine overheating, idle motor to cool down the temps. And I checked the temps, everything is at 250, which is crazy. It is not supposed to be nowhere near 250 like this. All right, engine temp is at 208, oil temp is at 187. Coolant temp is at 220. Tour mode, the valves are closed. AC is running. That's it. Y'all see this? Almost 260 degrees. Cruising, didn't do anything. 250, 239. Bro, you can't tell me there's nothing wrong with this car. And the vans don't kick off. Huh? We took it back there, of course, the first time. This is before I went to my buddy's house to look at the issues. But the mechanic, because I went to go get the tire reinflated, and they were telling me, hey, you'll bring it back Monday and then we'll take a look at it, because I'm like, this is an issue, like it's overheating and stuff like that. But they're telling me that they'll have to look at it on Monday, and I'm like, I guess, man, I guess that'll work. So we let it cool down. They were gonna put air in my tires. Car didn't start, it died. It actually died at Jim Whaley's too, but they jumped us off, and I guess that has something to do with the heating and stuff. Funny story, while I was at Jim Whaley's with my car dead and waiting for, which by the way, they wouldn't even patch it or plug it, I mean, because they didn't want to mess with that tire. But some guy came up to me and was like, I used to own a Supra back in the day, and it's crazy to see what they've done with these things. And that cracked me up. I was just like, yeah, man, it's crazy. You know, I'm just in my dead car that's like basically a paperweight right now. But anyways, we take it back to the shop, and the mechanic is telling me that he's like, we're going to hook up the computer and see how it was driven, which I didn't even drive it hard, bro. I did a baby pull out of the dealership because all my friends were doing a pull, and there was some people there that were looking at the cars, my friends' cars and stuff, and I did like not even 50% throttle, because that car does not need 50% throttle to go really quick, and that was it. That's all the throttle I gave it. And then we were just cruising Jim Whaley's, and it overheated and died. And he's telling me I'm gonna check the computer and see this, that, and I'm gonna see how it was driven. And he I don't know, he just sounded like arrogant and like condescending or whatever, thinking that like I don't know what like I'm talking about. Anyways, he goes on a spiel, whatever. We go grab lunch, let the car cool down. We come back. As we're walking around like towards where the shop is, I see the Corvette roll up, and he hops out of it, turns it off for some reason, turns it back on to show that it's still working, I guess. Temps are good and all that. He goes on to explain to me that it was basically my fault that it overheated. He said that it got redlined and I wasn't in track mode, and that's the reason why it overheated. Doesn't make sense to me still, I explained to him that I had the same exact motor in my car, and he was like, nope, this is an LT4. And I'm like, I have an LT4 as well. He's like, it's different in the Corvette. And I was like, not really. I mean, like, not that different, to the point where like if I redlined, it would overheat the motor if I wasn't in track mode. Being in a freaking mode will not determine anything, bro. Like, I'm in tour, I could be in tour mode and like top this car off at like 200 and like nothing would happen. I would let off and it would just coast. It would just be chilling. It'd still be at the same temps and it'd be chilling, like no problem. Corvettes, I thought he had some knowledge, which I didn't, and I was like, all right, we'll roll with it, which is why we did that tour mode drive, and we realized that he was just talking a whole. But like I said, he was just so condescending, making it seem like it was our fault. Like I didn't know what I was talking about when I have the exact same freaking motor, just in a different platform and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the bad part about it was that obviously it's not under warranty because it's a very modified car. But they basically said, hey, you'll just have to bring it back Monday, and basically just saying it was my fault, which just irritated the mess out of me. But I was like, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. It was my fault. Let's just figure it out from there. We head over to my buddy's shop. This is where I began to record, and so we were trying to see if we could maybe plug the tire ourselves, because nobody else wanted to do it. We take the freaking tire off in the back, and I do have videos of this. The wheel is cracked in 2 spots. Not like a stupid like big crack around the barrel or whatever, but like right at the edge there's like a crack, and that's where it's just leaking air. You can spray like soapy water on it, you'll just see the bubbles come out of that thing. And then one on the opposite side of it. Just take it back. Let's just go get it. Because like, what's the point of, like, I loved having the Corvette, but like, what's the point of having it if I want to stress out this much, almost like just 3 hours into owning it? And like, I'm thinking like, I'm still not even home. Like, I'm like an hour away from home, and like I can't even make it 10 minutes down the road without this car like needing to be turned off for like 20 minutes for it to cool down. And I'm like, screw it, let's just go back and get it replaced or whatever. And at first they were just kind of like iffy. They didn't really want to do it, but I kind of told them, I was like, hey, I got everything on video. You can see that I babied the car barely. Like, I didn't even go over 45 miles an hour, and you'll see that it's just overheating. See the temps just climbing no matter what. And they were like, you know what, we'll just cancel everything and give you back your car, and we'll try to get it fixed. I was like, cool. I was so mad stressed, man. This was like a 3-hour stretch of me realizing I bought a very expensive vehicle, which was low. It was a low mileage Z06, and I'll just say the price. It was $83,000 is what the Z06 was. And me realizing I'm going to pay that much money for a car that is going to leave me stranded. Just that amount of stress, man, I'm telling you, because I thought I was stuck with it, and I thought like the only way that I would be able to get this car back was going to be to trade the Z06 in, which is what the law is here. You'll have to trade the car in to get your old car back. And thinking about that, because they would mark this car up ridiculously high, probably a lot more than what I paid for it, so I would have to end up paying more, and it would just basically be like a waste of time and money. And that's another thing. That's like, I had all my friends out there. They came up, and I basically just wasted like all their time, because like now I don't have the car. But they were super supportive, and it was just one of the coolest things, seeing like all my friends around like while I'm buying this car. It was so cool. Honestly, it was surreal almost. But yeah, honestly, I'm not even like that super upset about it, just because like, I mean, it was still a fun day. Essentially, like I got to drive a Z06 for the first time in my life. Not just that, but a very modified Z06, making almost 1,000 horsepower, which I've never driven anything close to that. So that was cool. I also got to test drive a C8 Corvette for the first time. That was very sick. I didn't get any of that on a head strap with the GoPro, but I do have a video that I'll put in here. Still a good day. Got to spend it with my homies. Obviously, we had a whole bunch of stress and stuff like that, and they were there for me basically the whole way through. But and me realizing that I was able to get a Z06 Corvette at 23 by myself without a cosigner or anything was pretty crazy. Like I felt really happy, and I was super excited and proud. But like like I said, I'm not too bummed out about it, because I still have this car, and like this car means a lot to me, honestly, and I'm just happy that I have it. You know, like I'm very fortunate to be able to be in this position at my age, so I definitely don't take it for granted. I'm not too butthurt about it. Obviously, like I said, it would have been cool for the channel and for like everybody to see it, but it is what it is. I mean, this is broke ZL1, so like we're going to keep it like that for a little bit longer, I suppose. I accidentally left my tag registration there in my garage clicker because I'm freaking dumb. I left that in the Z06. So go back there Monday, and they get that for me, no problem. And they end up telling me that they believe that it has a blown head gasket on the Z06, and also one of the front wheels was bent. I'm not sure which one, but one of the front wheels was bent, along with the back tire, or the back wheel that was cracked. Like, oh my god, man. So like that mechanic that kept telling me it was my fault, like, now y'all see, bro. It's in y'all shop and y'all saw. So that explains everything. Like, it was overheating so quickly, like nothing. And yeah, that was it. Freaking blown head gasket. So essentially, I traded this car in for a blown up Corvette. But it all worked out for the better. We lucked out and got this car back. And honestly, man, I'm happy to be back in this, and just gonna make some more content on this and enjoy this for a while, hopefully, because like I'm just really attached to this car, to be honest with you. Hopefully it didn't discourage too many of y'all that saw the thumbnail and thought that I got the Z06 or whatever. I know a lot of y'all probably would have enjoyed it. I would have enjoyed it, but hopefully y'all enjoy the ZL1 still, please. But I think that's gonna do it for the video, guys. I do appreciate y'all for watching, and this is probably gonna be a longer video, so I do appreciate y'all for like watching this, like talking, because it's gotta be boring, bro, like hearing me talk. But I do appreciate all of y'all that actually stick through and listen to the thing, and stick with me through the ZL1. And we'll see what's in store for us in the future. But if y'all did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. Be sure to comment down below, what would you do if you were in the same predicament? Like, would you have freaked out like I did? Because I'm sure everybody would, man. Like, I don't know. Or would you go after the Z06 after they fixed it? I don't know. But yeah, be sure to comment down below what you would do, and be sure to subscribe and turn those bell notifications on. See you in the next one.
RS SS22 ZL1 sliding in a rainbow coupe. Saw your bitch, mouth drop, what it do? Worry about yourself, bitch. Who the fuck is you? Take it to the tree tent like a limousine. When the light turn